Oh no! I blend in with my chalkboard. What a bummer.
Yep, that's me.
Let's be dramatic.
Whoa!
Hello. I'm here to tell you that I'm not afraid to tell you that King Lear sucks. It's true. I might piss off a lot of professors, but it's true. Many people, mostly professors, speak to the fact that King Lear is possibly Shakespeare's greatest play. But some even vault it as the highest form of Western canon. But I disagree. You're getting to see my theater side. Sorry, guys. I want to tell you that King Lear has extremely patriarchal views and even denies women basic human decency. In this video, I want to prove to you that King Lear is the actual villain of the story, not the so-called daughters. In this video today, we're going to be telling you King Lear is the actual villain. So, let's just get started, shall we? So, in order to tell you about King Lear, I have to give you a little basic summary. Now, even though I'm erasing this, just know it's always there in my heart. Now, King Lear, he's going up here. He has 3 daughters. Goneril, I know, it's very sad. What a tragic name for such a powerful woman. Regan and Cordelia. So sorry. Ugh, I hate chalk. Now King Lear, he is the king of Britain, people would say, and he decides to step down, which is very uncommon for kings in any form of history, and wants to divide his kingdom among his 3 girls. But in order to do this, he holds a contest for his 3 girls, saying, okay, I'll give you a portion of my kingdom only after you tell me how much you love me. Not parental manipulation at all. So Goneril and Regan tell him, oh, you're the sun, you're the moon, you're the stars. I can't believe you're such a perfect father. And then boom, they get a third of the kingdom. And then Cordelia is like the one that's like honest with her father and says like, I don't know, man. I love you, but I want to save room in my heart for my husband. Very reasonable. But you know what? She gets banished because of it. Now, the canon of King Lear says that Cordelia actually likes King Lear versus these 2. And after banishing Cordelia, he quickly learns that the 2 other daughters don't love him as much, and actually he made a poor decision. So sad. I'm sorry, King Lear. Goneril and Regan quickly begin to undermine his authority, and King Lear is shocked by this and finds his daughters betraying him because of it. Now Lear slowly goes insane, and I would argue that the daughters Goneril and Regan are not villains because we are actually never given any subtext to undermine their villainy, except for the fact that they are trying to run the country coming off of a king who, might I mind you, is unfit to rule. Way to go, King Lear and Shakespeare. You want to villainize the women when King Lear is literally going insane and is unfit to rule. Okay, Western canon, I hear you. Just like make it make sense. Why are the women villainized? Well, let's get into it. Now, King Lear, like practically all of Shakespeare's plays except one, are not original. And I feel the need to tell you this because Cordelia in the original text is not banished and actually lives in the end. What? Why? Why Shakespeare? And Shakespeare makes the, in my opinion, wrong decision to focus on King Lear instead. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a good female villain. But the way these female villains are portrayed is really what gets me, because they are not in charge of their own narrative. We only hear about their devious actions through male speeches. Might I mind you, we don't see these 2 practically ever, except in the first and second act. We only hear of their villainy through other people. And in Shakespeare's King Lear, each daughter is supposed to represent a different aspect of womanhood that existed in Elizabethan society. The manner in which they are portrayed, as Shakespeare suggests, is very, shall I say, misogynistic. So, Cordelia, let's give you some characteristics of why she is the ideal Elizabethan woman. I'm sorry for this 400-year spoiler, but she dies only because of the disobedience of her father. This is clear depiction of Shakespeare's misogyny because he wanted to display the punishment for what she deserved. Cordelia has always been Lear's favorite, but when she finally has enough confidence to tell her father how she actually really feels, her consequence is death. And this is not original to the source material because she lives in the end. The original source material is about Cordelia. Regan is supposed to represent the mistrust of women. Wow. Because she's harsh and has a cold personality, Shakespeare believes her deserving of death for her actions. But do you want to know what her fatal flaw was? She lied to her father to protect his feelings. Kill him. Goneril is cold. The cold personality doesn't engage with her father when he comes to visit her. Why? Because she's trying to do her job. The job that you assigned her, King Lear. In fact, King Lear holds some of the most disgusting quotes surrounding women, but when I give you context to them, they're actually quite shocking. Are you ready for this? I want y'all to recall that King Lear descends into madness as he feels each of his daughters betrays him. And when Goneril objects to her father's orders, you know what he does? He isn't just mad, he's wrathful. Just the underlying misogyny is shocking in this play. For example, I'll bring up some quotes. My favorite quote to prove that King Lear is not a good guy is this one. But to the griddle, to the gods inherit, beneath is all the fines. There is hell, there is darkness. Do you know what he's doing? Shakespeare and King Lear are comparing his daughter's vagina to hell. I can't make it up. He's just because she has a vagina, she's doomed to hell. Love that. So this is a quote from King Lear when Goneril disobeys him or just doesn't take in the orders to run the kingdom like he would want it. Dry up her organs of increase, and from the body never spring a babe to honor her. If she must teem, create her a child of spleen, and if it may live, be a thought, does natural torment her. This is King Lear talking about his eldest daughter as he curses women, curses her as a mother, but then also hopes that a child is both physically ugly, that it dishonors her, and she suffers for eternity. Wow, real father material. And now that we're familiar with some of the slander that these women go through under the means of their own father, it's not that we can't have weak women. I'm not saying that women can't display villainy, but I am saying in this play specifically, there are an increased undertones of sexism. Lear makes several comments about Cordelia's soft voice, but you want to know why? Because she's dead. That's why her voice is soft. This both enforces Renaissance standards of women to be silent for their time, and it makes me so mad. And in King Lear, every woman in the story is destroyed. She's dead. She died. But you know who lives? King freaking Lear. You can make the argument that all of the undertones that are here are for good reason. It is actually supposed to make the audience feel sympathy for the daughters and show Elizabethan misogynistic culture. Of course, I get. But the two sisters are coated in so much villainy that they're worse than Richard III, according to King Lear. That was a Shakespeare joke, sorry. Everyone feels the need to hate them. Their servants, their husbands, even their own sisters hate each other. But to the audience, we never see them do anything wrong. Iago from Othello manipulates Othello into thinking his wife is cheating and then boom, kills people. That's an action we see. We see him manipulating people on stage. So the audience can see the actions as bad, sympathize if you want, but it's shown on stage that they're the villains. The women of King Lear never get that pleasure. Personally, I think King Lear is the real villain of the story because I think Lear's sexism is a symptom of his own unnatural decision and struggle with loss of power to his daughters, which he gave them, by the way. King Lear has a constant outburst, but it is presented as sympathetic because of his old age. He's clearly not in the right mind to run a kingdom. In Act 4, he's walking around the forest barefoot, chanting rhymes that are nonsensical. I'm shocked that King Lear is seen as a tragic hero. Quite frankly, I don't think there's inherently anything evil about Regan or Goneril. Even when King Lear visits them, the speeches that they make that most people contest are the evil of them, I don't say anything wrong. You know what happens? King Lear interprets them as evil. And what gets me riled up is I know Shakespeare is capable of writing compelling women. Lady Macbeth is a mastermind behind the destruction of the royal family. Viola recognizes the male privilege, disguises herself as a man to show that women can do it just as well. And power doesn't just have to come from defying the patriarchy or the system. Beatrice is an excellent example of such a woman. She just simply knows what she wants and doesn't settle for anything less. The thing about the negative qualities of these women are also found in Lear. Goneril's verbal aggression can certainly be traced back to her father's bullyment of her. Bullyment? It's fine. Regan's casual cruelty and impulsiveness are qualities that are also found in Lear. The truth still stands that Lear causes all of the problems in the play. Not the women, but Lear himself. Ultimately, Lear's sexual language develops through suffering and madness. Because of what?
Himself!
His own lack of responsibility, that's right. I don't know who's gonna say that, but King Lear is not about the fall of a great man, but it's about the fall of the kingdom, his daughters, and his friends because of said great man. I think this play is supposed to criticize power, and a power structure that fails to value individuals. I'm just mad that people don't see Lear as the villain. His pride is his own folly, not the pride of his daughters. You know? Anywho, I don't know. It just gets me mad that the Western canon sees the women as the villain. I don't understand why. But, anywho, that's why King Lear sucks. Both as a story and as a father. And you know what? It's okay. It's good to me. I think it's comforting to know that Shakespeare, the great literary genius that he is, has some duds. That concludes this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry I got so heated. But King Lear, he really evokes the anger inside of me. And I hope y'all understand. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time. Keep reading and all that jazz. But these okay, and you can tell. Not the woman, not what? The door just closed and it scared me. Gets me riled up. King Lear actually sucks. You know who agrees with me? Tessa Gratton. And that's what I'll take to the grave.